2 minutes, 37 seconds, round number 6. Your winner by KO victory and still WBC Ring Magazine lineal middleweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Hey, fight fans. Let's go over Saul Canelo Alvarez crushing victory Saturday night over Amir King Khan. Well, like most of you, I picked Alvarez to win this fight. I actually picked him by 5th round knockout, but he ended up doing it in the 6th. This fight went pretty much the way that I thought it would. I mean, my feeling is once Canelo landed one hard shot, Khan wasn't going to go down. I know there's a lot of boxing fans out there who feel that, well, Khan's defeats in the past should have nothing to do with, this fight that he just had with Alvarez, but it should. You have to look at it like this. I mean, at 140 pounds, Brady Prescott, a guy who can hit, but still at 140 pounds, knocks him out basically with one shot. Danny Garcia at the same weight drops him 3 times. And then when he moves up to 147, he's dropped by Joel Diaz. Now, I don't know why some people feel that those losses had nothing to do with Alvarez when he's going up in weight, 8 pounds higher than he's ever fought, and he's fighting a guy who has pretty quick hands, and he also has naturally heavy hands. Amir looked good. I got to be honest. I picked Alvarez, but I was pulling for Amir. It'd have been nice to see Amir Khan get a big victory, and in the first round, I thought that might happen. I mean, he came out, popped those 2 quick jabs. He hit Alvarez with a beautiful right hand over top, and I started to feel that if Amir Khan could keep that up for 12 rounds, he could win this fight. But if you know Amir Khan, you knew that wasn't going to happen. He wasn't going to keep that up for 12 rounds. Eventually, he was going to get a little too lazy, keep his chin pointed up in the air, and get caught, which is essentially what happened. And it was pretty much lights out there from Amir Khan. Before I finish my thoughts on this fight, let me touch on the undercard real quick. Actually, man, it was a rough weekend for me. I went 2 for 2 on this card, and if I would have picked with my head instead of my heart, I could have went 4-0. Starting with the opening bout, Curtis Stevens against Patrick Teixeira. He's a young, up-and-coming middleweight. My head told me to pick Curtis Stevens. My head told me that Curtis Stevens, still has that equalizer, which is the power. But I should reverse that and say I actually should have bet with my heart. That's what my heart told me. But my head said pick the young Teixeira who's coming up, southpaw. He's looked good in his last few fights, and this would be his first coming up fight. But I didn't do that. I went with I picked Teixeira instead of picking what my head told me, which is Curtis Stevens, and bang, I was wrong on that one. Curtis Stevens just went in there and bombed the young man out like he should do. One of the reasons I picked Teixeira was because Curtis Stevens hasn't fought in a boxing fight since I think November of 2014. Now, he's been in BKB, but not in the actual square ring. Anyway, Curtis Stevens wins. He goes on, and hopefully, he can get a good fight coming up. The next fight, I was wrong about as well. Mauricio Herrera against Frankie Gomez. Herrera has been robbed in the past, and I actually thought that he would be too much for Frankie Gomez. Even though Frankie Gomez is a very good, young, up-and-coming fighter, I still thought that the old vet would have a little too much for him. I actually picked Mauricio Herrera by split decision, but it did not go that way at all. Frankie Gomez basically outclassed him for the whole fight, and I don't know where my man Mauricio goes from here, but I picked with my heart there. I was wrong on that one. Fight number 3, which was the co-main, I'm happy to say it was the first fight I got right in the night. I picked David Lemieux by 5th round knockout, and the fight was stopped in the 4th round, and it actually was a right stoppage. Some people may think that, well, they should have gave Tapia a chance to continue, but they shouldn't have. He was getting hit by heavy shots. Speaking of heavy hands, David Lemieux has heavy hands, and Tapia was getting hit by heavy shots, and he in the fight was going to come to an end. He went down hard. I know he's a warrior. He wanted to continue, but I believe his corner did the right thing, and they didn't want a repeat of what they did against James Kirkland, where you just let the young man stay in there and take a beating. Tapia will come back, and he'll be able to fight for another day. Now I will jump back to the main event, and I would like to talk about what's happening, what the future shall hold. Amir Khan will drop back down to 147 pounds, and I really don't know who he will fight from here. I just know this: they better not put that boy in the ring with Kell Brook or Keith Thurman. You need to put him down, let him get a couple of fights and get him and build himself back up. As for Canelo, there's really only one fight for him right now. Golovkin. He needs to go right for Gennady Golovkin and get that fight out the way. Let's stop dragging it on and building it up and building it up. Worst case scenario, he fights David Lemieux in September, which would give him a full-fledged middleweight fighter. So he can actually fight somebody that Golovkin fought, and after he does that, and he fights him at a right at 160 pounds, he can move on to fight Golovkin. Worst case scenario next May, but it really doesn't need to drag on any further than that. And as for Alvarez fighting Golovkin, Amir Khan and Virgil Hunter definitely has some thoughts about that.
I just want to say a big thank you to everyone. And, I'm one of them fighters, I'll step in the ring with whoever. And I think it's time now where Canelo needs to step in with Triple G, because everyone's been waiting for that fight. So I showed my balls by getting in the ring with a big guy. But look,
he took the risk. He gave up everything. No concessions. Now it's time for him to take the risk and quit hiding behind little stuff, okay? Amir took the risk.
Why is it important for you guys that Canelo takes that risk against Triple G? It seems personal.
Because he set the tone. Amir set the tone. Fighters should fight each other. We're setting the tone. He took the risk. He did it. He got to quit hiding behind the flag and fight Triple G.